Hi guys, welcome to Matrix Uploaded. My name is Mark Phillips and I love doing mathematics, and particularly I love doing functions. So grade 10s, let's have a look at the hyperbolic function, the hyperbola, and let's take this right up to where the matrix need to know, okay, where they need to go. Okay, so the first thing, let's go back to grade 10 and let's have a look at a graph that looks like this. Remember last time we did parabolas. Now this one is 2 divided by x. Remember 2x is a line, x squared is a parabola, but what is 2 divided by x? Hyperbola. X can never be naught in this case because it's undefined. We have what we call asymptotes, and this one would be taking 2 over x and jumping it up, increasing the y values by 1, which is nice. So what we normally do with these guys, what I do is I choose a little table. Now, if you take that graph, what we can do is we can pick some x values. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose these 4 x values. Now, the reason for it, guys, is you want to work out the y values. You want to work out 2 over x. Now, the thing is, 2 divided by negative 2 works out well. 2 divided by negative 1 works out well. You could have chosen others, but I choose factors of the guy at the top here, the numbers that go into 2. If it was 6, you could have chosen like 1, 3, and 6 itself, okay, or even 2. But now let's see, if we work out 2 over x, well, what is 2 divided by, let's see what this comes to. Okay, so if you take this, if you take 2 divided by that negative 2, what would you get? You get negative 1, and that's pretty straightforward to do. Okay, and remember, you just have to substitute in properly, because otherwise it's going to become a nightmare if you get wrong points, and then, you know, as I'll say, you'll seriously miss the point if you don't get this right. Okay, now let's have a look here. So 2 over negative 2 becomes negative 1. What's 2 divided by negative 1? Well, 2 over negative 1 is, of course, minus 2. Okay, and then 2 divided by 1 is 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now, if we go to this graph and we add 1, okay, you taking the 2 over x values and you adding 1. In other words, you lifting the basic graph 2 over x, okay, the basic graph 2 over x. You always relate to what I call the mother graph or the basic graph, 2 divided by x, and from there you do certain things. Now in this case, we are lifting the graph. We're not going left to right, we're lifting it up by 1. If it was negative 6, like 2 over x minus 6, you drop it. But look what we're doing, it's pretty cool. So now work out, so what we're doing is we're essentially adding 1 to those. So it's actually very simple. All you're doing is you add 1, add 1, add 1, you lift this basic graph up. Okay, and let's see what happens here. Okay, so you get 0, minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1, 2 plus 1 is 3, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, we're going to plot this. Now, let's look at the graph x and 2 over x. We're going to draw that, and then we're going to relate this graph, 2 over x plus 1 to this. So remember, when you're plotting points, guys, it's very, very important also to remember that if you take x is minus 2 and y is 1, you've got the points, minus 2, minus 1. And then you've got minus 1, minus 2, 1, 2. And what's that one? 2, 1. If you're going to sketch this graph here. Okay, so we're going to add, and then we're going to add 1, and we'll do those in a moment. Okay, so let's see what we get. Okay, so if we draw this, okay, this is the points, this is what the graph looks like, very interestingly. Okay, remember, if x was minus 2, y is minus 1, x is 1, y is 2, just double check that from the table. If you have a look at that, if you've got here y is equal to 2 over x, this is what this graph is. If x is 1, then if that's what x is, then obviously your y value becomes 2. And you plot those points, and you'll notice that we've got asymptotes. Probably grade 11s will remember this, but grade 10s, asymptotes, these arms never ever cut across the x or y axis. They refer to them in maths as, and you'll learn about this, they call them asymptotes. Okay, in other words, the graph gets closer and closer, but it never really cuts it, and you'll learn a lot about that at school. Okay, now if you look at this one, there's our graph of y equals 2 over x, but now there's the blue graph 2 over x. Now if we increase the graph, the y values, we lift the graph up. Now watch this. Remember, if you take, let's take one of the points. We've already done this in the table. If you've got y is equal to 2 over x and you add 1, well, if x is going to be 1, that's clearly 2 over 1 plus 1 is 3. So it lifts. So how does this work? Okay, if you think about it, what really is happening is it shifts, the blue graph shifts up to give you the graph that you want. And it's got an asymptote y equals 1. The whole graph shifts up. And that number on the end there is what we call the asymptote. Okay, so please make sure you master that. Okay, have a look at this one quickly. 2 over x minus 2. Well, let's have a look. What we could do is we could pick some x values, again, the nice ones, and we've got 2 over x. Now, what is that? And we've got those. Now, how do we do that? Let's just quickly do this. 2 over negative 2 is minus 1. 2 over minus 1 is minus 2. 2 over 1 is 2, and 2 over 2 is 1. Now, if we subtract 2, we're subtracting 2 to drop it. Okay, so this goes minus 3, minus 4, 0, and minus 1. Okay, now we're going to plot those points. So we're going to plot them. We're going to plot minus 1, minus 3, or minus 2, minus 3 there, because that's the x value. And then we take these guys, those guys, and those guys, and these guys. So it's minus 2, minus 3, minus 1, minus 4, 1, 0, and then 2, and negative 1. Now, we're going to plot those. So how does this work? Let's just go and plot them. Okay, if we do it, we can easily do this here. How do we do that? Well, okay, we've got 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And I want you to just bear with us for a while. In the next part of this lesson, we're going to actually sketch this graph in a lot of detail. So stay with us on Matrics Uploaded for some more wonderful functions.